How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube channel of Fedor Gorst. My name is Frank Miletti, special guest commentator from the Billiard Sports Network. I'm going to call the action for you today. We got a race to 9 here in the 2025 WPA 9-ball China Open. Fedor Gorst 849 versus Marco Teustcher 800 from the Netherlands. I'm sure most of you have tuned in yesterday when Fedor won on the hill 9-8 against Gerson Martinez. All right, here's our lag. Looks like Marco's going to win the lag. He's going to get the first break. This is an alternate break format. This is also a 3-point break system. If you don't know what the 3-point break system is, it needs to be a combination of 3 balls need to be pocketed or go past the head string on the break. It's also a shot clock. You'll see the referee will have a shot clock in his hand. If at any point the referee feels that the other table's player is in the way, the referee will call for an all stop. Stop the shot clock, let that player shoot, and then time will resume. Get started here with the first break. So I am actually remote commentating from my studio in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's around 3:30 in the morning here. But it is 3:30 in the afternoon in China. If some of you follow me, you know that that's my dog Leia. And anytime you hear Leia barking, that means that she's found some good action. She's barking at her opponent. All right, dry break, nothing down. Fedor coming to the table. Also with a illegal break. Let's just say, for an example, Marco made a ball but had an illegal break. Fedor comes to the table, takes the break, but he cannot push. He has to shoot from there. We're playing WPA rules. No world rules, I guess you would, some people refer to them as. One rail, Fedor plays into the 1. Comes down table, bumps to 9 a little bit. I'm going to have a slightly off angle shot. Might want to play safe, try to put the cue ball behind the 5 into that 8 mix combo over there. There he gets the cue ball behind the 8 and the 5. Gonna be a tough shot coming out the gate here for Marco. And retreat back and grab his jump cue. The 2025 tournament year, Easy Billiards says that Marco is number 88 on the leaderboard, with just a little under 15,000 in prize winnings. He's going to scratch. Pockets the 7. I would think Fedor's probably coming up. We're going to play this 2-9 combo. Marco's best finish of the year was 5th place at the 2025 Las Vegas Open. Came in 33rd at the Indonesia Men's Open. Came in 17th in the World Pool Championships. And then he was 33rd in the US Open. I actually watched that match. It was a pretty good match that he played. All right, 2-9 combination for Fedor Gorst. That's going to give him a 1-0 lead here in a race to 9. All right, we're back here with rack number 2. Fedor to break. He's in the lead 1-0. One ball on the side, 3 ball travels up. So does a 7 legal break. Fedor has a pretty runnable rack here. He can play the 2 up to the top left. I want to float that cue ball over for the 3. Alright, into the top left corner. In your top right corner there, you see Dennis Graba. The winner of that matchup and the winner of this matchup, I believe, play each other next round. Alright, Fedor going to play the 3 into the bottom left. He's going to use proper speed on the cue ball. He's going to come in between the 4 and 9. Gets himself over with a slight angle. Players are playing on these beautiful Racing tables. I've actually played at these tables over at Jason Scholl's pool room. He has these. These tables are absolutely gorgeous. They play so well. All right, 5 ball to the bottom right. He's going to come out 1 rail, come across for the 6 in the top left. We're expecting to play the 6 and the 7 into the same pocket. Coming across with the cue ball. He should punch off the 7 using that left rail to get himself over for the 9. Eight first, of course, and then the 9, but you understand what I'm saying. All right, nice little hold here on the 8, playing the 9 to the bottom left. We're going to break and run out here for frame number 2. And Fedor's going to have a 2-0 lead. All right, we got 2-0 on the score. Fedor Gorst over Marco Teustcher. Marco's break. Here in frame at number 3. It's well, gets the wing ball in the corner. Gets position on the one ball. I don't see any obstacles for him. Down for the 2. Just want to get into the center table. Pretty much right back where the cue ball is now would probably be his best positional play. Look to play that 4 into the top right. He's going to want to punch off that right rail. He could also roll it up slowly and kind of just take the back angle on the 4 ball. But I'm expecting him to kind of almost like a low right punch off the rail. A little bit of low left, looking to get that 5 ball in the center pocket. Now here's where it becomes a little tricky. If he can play the 5 in and draw below the 6, meaning come closer towards the 9 ball, then he can play the 6 ball in the side pocket, kind of roll the cue ball past the pocket for the 7 into the corner. If not, then he's going to have to maneuver the cue ball a little bit. With the low English, he should be okay. He should be able just to pull it to the left. Still didn't get as far as he wanted. He's kind of nodding his head slightly. Yeah, he doesn't like the shot. But he's going to go away from the 7, having to shoot the 7 past the side rail. He could run into it, but it gets a little unpredictable. Yeah, so he's going to look to go to the top right corner with the 7. He's going to want to play a little bit of low English and touch here. He wants to try to be just slightly less than straight. That might be a tougher angle than he wanted. He's okay, though. He can play it to the corner. It just requires a little bit more skill to make the shot. He definitely does have the skill to make the shot, though. He pulled the ball out of the pocket. Yeah, I think if he was straighter on that shot, he could play to the corner a little easier. All right, Fedor has a chance to steal one here. He can play the 7 into the corner. He wants to either clear the side pocket like he's pointing to now or come above the side pocket, but he's looking to clear it. So there should be 2 rails, the right rail over to the left rail now for the 9 ball. From this angle as a commentator and player, it looks like an easy shot, but when you're at the table, this one is not the easiest. Especially cutting away from the ball, so you have to make sure that you cut the ball properly. These shots are definitely very easy to overcut and cut into the top rail or the top point. Too rough for Fedor, though. Out right to the center of the table. We'll leave his 1-inch extension on. Nope. Just going to take the 1-inch extension off. The 6-inch on. All right, we have 3-0 on the score. Fedor Gorst up currently over Marco Teustcher. All right, going into frame number 4, Fedor's going to check the rack. You are allowed to check the rack in WPA rules. All right, Fedor to break in the lead, 3-0. Two down. 2 ball coming to the rest at the top of the table. Probably going to look to see Fedor kick and stick on this. I think he's one of the best kick and stick players in the world. No, I was wrong. Fedor using the 7 ball for cover. All right, Marco coming with a kick shot. Gets the cue behind the 7. Fedor's going to go airborne. You might even see Fedor try to spin off the 2. Looking at me, I was saying, coming off the 2, looking for the 6. It's an incredibly tough shot. All right, looking to spin to the right. Let's see. And he makes the shot. What a great jump shot by Fedor Gorst. Did he sacrifice position for another chance at the table? Let's see. 2 ball does look to go to the corner. He's going to be arcing a little bit over the 8. Remember, this is an all-ball foul situation. Any contact with any object balls is a foul. And he just rolls the 2 in, comes back out for the 4. They're going to come 3 rails for the 5. Missed the shot. Got a little lucky on the leave. Trying to hide the cue ball up table. Did not hide the cue. There is a 4-9 combination. If he decides to take it on, he actually could split both balls and make both balls. A little bit of a tougher shot, but he's going to go for the cut instead. Coming around the table. No, safety instead. Makes a good hit on the 4. Cue's going to rest behind the 7. Fedor immediately up to the table with his jump cue. Going airborne on the 4. Cuts it in. 8 ball's going to help him from scratching. Not the best leave on the 5, but he does have something to work with. Goes for the top corner. Kind of one of those calculated 2 ways, knowing that if he doesn't make it, cue ball is going around the table and getting towards the bottom. We have a hit on the 5. The cue ball's going to roll down. 9's going to be in the way. We'll have a piece of it. Playing to the outside edge. I needed to slow up a little bit. It doesn't slow up and it leaves Marco a shot. A couple different opportunities for save here. Both players exchanging the back and forth distance. Call them distance safeties, even though you can make a hit on it. There's really no shot you can go for. All right, he's going to come 2 rails, trying to hit into this 5, maybe kick up the corner. No good with it going up into the corner. We're lagging a little behind there, folks, on the score. It's updated correctly. It's 3-0 currently, Fedor.
10 seconds. Attention forward.
Marco gets the 5 to come back up table. Fedor coming up to the table with his jump cue. Plays the jump on the 5, does not make the shot. Marco and Fedor both kind of laughing. They just keep kicking the ball back and forth. One of them has to make a mistake soon. Alright, I look to play the edge of the 5. It's a nice shot to the corner. I believe Marco's going to get it out of this rack and make the score 3-1 possibly. He's got some bear down here. Play good position off the 7. It's very easy after you just made a tough shot to miss. Happens to a lot of players. All right, we have 3-1 on the score. Marco gets on the board. Here in a race to 9.
It all started at Derby. We brought a few products and had no idea what to expect. Then came Super Billiards Expo, and the support was unreal. Now, seeing the way players and fans have responded, we're constantly coming up with new product, and we know this is just the beginning. Thanks for the support. We are just getting started.
All right, 3-1 on the score. Going into frame number 5. Marco's break. Folks, we seem to have a slight issue with the audio coming in from the arena, so we're going to adjust the volume a little bit again. All right, 1 ball down, 8 up to the top corner, 9 slightly in the way. He's looking at the 2. He can try to catch the edge of the 2. He can also come 2 rails in on the 2 ball. That's a much riskier shot, in my opinion, going with the 2 rail. So he might just play what would be his right side of the 2, our left. Maybe trying to get that cue ball to come up 2 rails around the 8 ball. Yeah, he was trying to get up behind those balls. Definitely didn't get to where he wanted. Fedor has a clear shot on the 2. I think he might go forward with this ball. Well, maybe he's drawing it towards the center of the table. All right, clear shot for Fedor on the 3, coming 2 rails for the 4 ball. All right, on the 4 ball, back in line with the rack. Will play the 4 in the side pocket. Going to get himself for the 5 on the top right. Simple out from here. He's going to play the 6 to the corner, hold for the 7. Right back over for the 8 ball. All right, Fedor's going to use 1 rail. Get past the center of the table, pretty much right where his hand is. Or maybe just sit dead center of the table. Going to play the 9 to the bottom right corner. Looking to take a 4-1 lead here in the race to 9. All right, 9 ball down. 4-1 we have now on the score. Fedor Gorst, Marco Teustcher. right, 4-1 on the score. Fedor, take a look at the rack. Looking for any gaps or anything that he sees would be good for him. All right, 1 ball down. Not the greatest shot starting the rack over top of the 3, shooting at the 2 ball. Unfortunately, at this angle, I can't see whether or not that 2 goes clean. Apparently doesn't if he's going to put the cue ball behind the 6. Leaks out a little bit. I believe Marco can make the hit. Doesn't even need the jump cue. He should be able to hit it clean. Does make contact. Cue ball's going to roll down to the bottom rail. Fedor has a clear shot at the 2. Cue ball tracking to the left, so cue ball should go 2 rails if he does decide to take on the 2. This has to avoid hitting the 6. Alright, cue ball's going to come back down for the 3. The 4 is waiting for him right there. He's going to be able to use that to get good position on the 6 in the top left. Alright, 2 rails he'll use. He'll use the left rail. Then the right rail. He might even use 1 rail and spin up between the 7 and 6. I think that's the tougher shot, though. Expect for him to use right-hand English. Alright, he uses 1 rail up for the 6 ball in his top left pocket. Back and out around for the 7 in the same pocket. So he's just playing a drill right now with playing the ball 2 rails and just coming out 2 rails. Marco's biding his time. Remember yesterday, Fedor was down 3 or 4 racks to Gerson, and Fedor wound up coming back and winning on the hill, so nothing's over. All right, we have 5-1 on the score. Fedor Gorst over Marco Teustcher. Teutscher. There. All right, we got 5-1 on the score. Marco down by 4 racks. Let's see if he can try to close that gap here with this break. Makes a 7 in a corner. One's coming back down. One's going to give him a good play to get from the 1 to the 2. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, he was an illegal break. Wow. Makes a ball in the break and gets position, doesn't get a legal break. And that's rough. All right, so Fedor's at the table then. With a very runnable rack for him. Especially having position on the 1, lining up for the 2. I don't hate the 3-point break rule, but sometimes I do think that it the other player kind of gets the short end of the stick. Especially when you can see they're breaking hard, the ball just doesn't get kicked up towards the top. Right, 4 in the corner. He's coming out 2 rails for the 5. Wants to get just a little further. I don't really think it's going to hurt him too much, though. We'll play the 5 in the corner, come 1 rail off for the 6. All right, 6 into the bottom left corner. All right, we're out for the 9-ball. Looking to take a 6-1 lead here, Fedor Gorst. All right, we have 6-1 on the score. All right, 6-1 on the score. Let's update that scoreboard for you. Sorry, 6-1. All right, Fedor to break. All right, 2 goes in the corner. 1 ball dresses up. I'll look to maybe shoot that gap right in between the 9, 6, and 8. It's a little bit of a rub off the 6 for good measure. We'll play the 3 into the pocket, drawing it one rail back down for the 4 in the same pocket. A little bit out of line from where he wanted to be. And he's going to use the left side rail. He's going to punch over to it and back out for the 5. All right, he's just going to play the slow roll instead. I thought he'd punch back out for the 5 in the left side, but not even realizing he can play the 5 in the right side and just let the cue ball roll up for the 6. Fedor's so good at getting everything he wants out of a soft shot, getting the object ball to roll maximum distance, but also getting the cue ball to slow to where he wants it to go. Pretty much just like that shot, fires it in, just kind of slow stuns it forward. All right, he's got 7 to the corner. 8 ball and 9 ball are waiting on bottom end for him. Punches the cue out to the center of the table. All right, 2 rails out for the 9 into the same pocket. Fedor starting to run away with it here. He's going to take a lead of 7-1 here on the 8th frame.
It all started at Derby. We brought a few products and had no idea what to expect. Then came Super Billiards Expo, and the support was unreal. Now, seeing the way players and fans have responded, we're constantly coming up with new product, and we know this is just the beginning. Thanks for the support. We are just getting started.
Seven one. Marco breaking. Fedor needs 2. Marco needs a lot. But again, in the alternate break format, it's not unheard of to come back and win from being down 5-6, 7-1, 7-2. Marco runs out here. Fedor dry breaks. He runs out, breaks and runs. The score goes from 7-1 to 7-4 real quick. keep an eye on some of these racks. He's going to slide up for the 3-ball. All right, out to the 4. He can play the 4 into the corner. Wants to hold for the 5-ball in the same pocket. I'm looking at the shot. Gentleman on the other table. Just wanted to make sure he got out of his way. Plays the 4 in. Oh, I'm sorry. I was mistaken. I thought that was the 5. That's actually the 7-ball up there. Cuts the 7 over. He's going to get down to the 8. All right, out to the 9-ball. He's going to have 2 here now on the score. 7-2. Fedor Gorst in the lead over Marco Teustcher. All right, 10th frame. Fedor firmly in the lead, 7-2. One ball on the side. Cue ball's going to get kicked into the corner. That's going to be ball in hand for Marco. I was just saying it about a rack and a half ago. One mistake. We can go from being 7-1, 7-2 to 7-3 real quick. That was the first mistake I think Fedor's had on the break this entire matchup. All right, coming behind on the 4. Try to kick it into the corner pocket. It's a good rub coming off the 6. Coming down, he does not really want to make that shot. Oh, he did have the 5 in the corner. I was surprised. And Fedor has a chance to get himself on the hill. Cuts the 5, comes around 2 rails for the 6. Then I'll line him up to go 2 rails over for the 7. Got the ladies over there returning from their break. Sylviana Lou in the blue. He's over for the 7 ball. 7 to the 8 to the 9, all in one spot. All right, Fedor has 8. He's on the hill. Marco has 2. All right, frame number 11. Scores 8 to 2. Marco to break. Two is not in the best starting position for him. Should be able to cut it down to the corner. There's enough of the left side rail that he can connect with. All right. I'll shoot this up to the top left, letting the cue ball run into that 4 ball and trying to drive it closer to the top right pocket. Four ball is in a makeable position, but tough shot. He was looking to make that go probably a little closer towards the pocket, not so far towards being out of the pocket. He's able to back cut it in. Coming around the table for the 5, he stays in line. All right, well, here's where the shot gets a little tough. We'll play the 6 up into the corner. So he's going to want to go with the shot, meaning that he'll let the cue ball go across table, left rail, right rail, back over. Also mistaken too. I said earlier that I believe the winner of this match plays the winner of the match to the right, Dennis Grava. That is not true. The winner of this match and the winner of that match advance to the single elimination round. And that match will take place September 12th at 1:30 in the Chinese time zone, which for Ahmed is 1:30 a.m. So it's going to be a rough morning for me, but that microphone will commentate. Yeah, I think Marco got into that one just a little bit more than he really wanted to. So he's going to have to come with a good shot here on the 8 ball, letting the cue ball go around the table. All right, Marco down to the 9. And just like him getting down, firing this 9 ball into the bottom corner. Bottom right corner, that is. All right, and he does. We got 8-3 now on the score. Here in the race to 9. Marco trying to hold off Fedor Gorst. All right, 8-3 on the score. Fedor breaking for the win. Makes the 1 in the side, 7 in the side, but no shot on the 2. All right, he's going to push out to the left side. We have a final score there on the right-hand side. Dennis Grabo has won his match 9-3. And Fedor back at the table, gave it back to him. I see a safety here if he can catch the two. Driving the cue ball up and trying to maybe park it on that 5. Instead, he fires it in. He's got to control his speed. He's going to probably play the short side. No, I'm going to get to the right side of the 4. Okay, I'll play the 4 into the corner. And just draw cue ball a little bit to the right. I'm going to use the 5 to get down for the 6. Coming down towards center table. Playing the 6, coming one rail out for the 9 ball. All right, we have 8-4 on the score. I believe 8, 4, 12, 13, and this is frame 13, so it will be Marco's break this frame. So every time Marco gets to the table, all he basically has to do is just make Fedor pay. If he gets to the table, he has to run out or leave Fedor with a kick or tough shot. Okay, frame number 13. One ball to the corner. Watch the cue. All right, cue stands up. Two ball does go into the corner. It's going to have to hold the cue for the 3, and just like that, before I got it out, he misses the 2 ball. That might be his last shot of the match. Looking at this table here, I don't see any obstacle for Fedor. Maybe 2 to the 3 to the 4 might be the toughest position here, and even that's not tough. Yeah, I'm going to dare say Fedor's probably out here, but let's see. He's going to have the 4 to the corner. 5 to the bottom left. Five to the bottom right. Thought he was going to hold it for the corner, but he had both options. All right, 6 ball into the top right corner. He's going to play the 7, same pocket. All right, and here we go for the match win. Fedor looking to take this 9 down. All right, and Fedor pockets the 9. He's going to win the match 9 to 4. That's going to put him into the single elimination round. Those matches will be played tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Chinese time zone, which would be 1:30 a.m.